Okay, guys, welcome back to Beautiful Mind. We're going to be speaking again about Bitcoin moving forward. Excuse me. Moving forward, we will be discussing our update for Mercury. I went ahead and put a check mark on when Mercury was going to come around and contact this area. So let's just go quickly revisit that, okay? I was actually in the middle of a tutorial discussing this when I don't know, Vimeo somehow stopped my recording. Something happened, so I was already halfway done this tutorial and I had to delete it. So we're just going to revisit this and discuss this. So we were saying on the 20th we would be expecting a bottom, and as you know, we got this very low volume and then this capitulation bottom. 1 day and 2 days later, we revisited our old bottom here where Venus had moved around and made a bottom. So we're just going to be mindful of this. We're just revisiting this. In my last tutorial, I was discussing with you that we could have a rally up to around the 28th of November and into the early days of December, and then we would repeat this summer sucker rally structure. Just similar. So we're going to be mindful of that. So I gone ahead and I put the check mark on there. That's our update. It happened 1 day and 2 days after the actual date that I had said, or that I had determined using W.D. Gann's method, his esoteric method of finding the lows based on using the planetary bodies and paying attention to the relationships that they make on the circle with the cycles that they create. All right, so our next determination won't be till December 19th when we expect another possible low again. Are we going to be revisiting this area, or will we be a higher low and a possible Santa rally up into our new year and then a fall off? It's possible. We discussed this in a couple of the previous tutorials where we took models and we were looking for relationships and determinations. So, is any of that all going to happen? Not necessarily, but we're being mindful of that, and we're ready for all these moves. So it's possible and likely we could have this Santa rally and then a fallback, or we could, if we can't get above the 17,000 level, which we're going to talk about on the square nine, and we're going to just go take a look at that. So I hope that this update has satisfied the finding the next lows using the planetary bodies. Be mindful, this is a very esoteric in nature, and we're just studying the natural and reoccurring phenomena. So let's go ahead and look at the square nine now, and let's just update with that. Okay, so earlier we were discussing that this 23 level here is coupled here with 15. All right, we've just spun all the way back and we've made this level. So is it possible that this 21-22 level here will maybe come down, revisit this 13 and possibly this 11, then 8, and maybe down to our 6 level, as I've been talking about? If this 19,000 gets a yellow and is a top, you can expect we can spin back down 2 squares and touch 6. No, I know I'm always a bad news bears. I mean, it would take a terrific amount of things to turn Bitcoin around. Right now, I'm not seeing it at this moment. It's possible, but right now we have a lot of stuff going on. We have crypto regulations coming up and a great reset. So we're just going to see if Bitcoin can claw its way back up. It's in a it's in a head-on war right now with the Fed, right? The bankers, the gloves are off. They're duking it out right now, and the bankers don't want to lose control of their fiat money system, right? Because, as you know, Bitcoin is peer-to-peer. It doesn't have a third-party interloper, so be mindful of this. All right, so we're talking about these levels, right? So if we can't get above this 17 level here, we've been discussing this now, just slightly here. If we can't get above this, this is, what's opposite from that, right? 9 and 10. You guys paying attention to this? All right, so if we can't break above these levels, and it's looking very, very fleeting because this 17,500 level, which we have made a market bottom and a cycle bottom, and it has a relationship with this 25 that we were talking about in August when we had our summer sucker rally, and I warned you the date and the level. I warned you, and I said that we would come back, and around the 27th I was calling for some lows. The amplitude of that low did not totally come back down to, but it was close to the levels I thought would be sufficient. So we're just going to be mindful of all this stuff. This is how we're finding tops and bottoms, and we're creating solutions. That's what we're interested in doing, learning things. Okay, so we've been talking now about our planetary bodies. We've been talking about our square of 9 and the structures and what we can expect moving forward. Are we going to see a lower low? I've put on an extra trend line here, and I interlooped it with the bottom here, and I set it up obviously with this bottom, and it's hugging this this trend line right now. We're bouncing off of it, and if this does not hold this level, if this 15,000 level doesn't hold, guys, we were talking about this. Opposite is 8, 180 degrees. So, and that's what these moves do. They move 180 degrees pretty much every single time. I mean, look at the square. All these relationships between these tops and bottoms, okay? These two are linked. These two are linked, okay? These two are linked. So pay attention. We're looking for bottoms and tops and relationships. And now this 25 and 17. So, this is a pretty important level now. Everyone was getting ready. And remember now, you guys were all getting primed that 17 is the bottom, okay? And we're just going to quickly go look at something because I wanted to show you something about how dangerous the news is. Look. So these guys at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, that's right, our good buddies over there, they're saying they have a technical rebound to our 17,000 before a new drop. Okay, so they're already priming you for all this stuff. So pay attention. Are we going to get a fake out? I talk about these, the fake out breakout, guys. So is that going to happen? It's possible. Now, we have the Fed minutes were released on the 23rd here, okay? And what happened? Well, it didn't look so bad, so the traders kind of jumped back in, and they're like, the bad news is out of the bag, and, but look, this is the shrimps, right? This is me and you. We're the shrimps, right? We're not the whales. So we're needing to be mindful to move ahead, because you can bet your bottom dollar the fund managers of the whole world, they know about GAN, and they have somewhere in their back office, there is someone doing this, and they are guarding the secret. I am releasing it, letting the light out. This is how they find all the tops and bottoms, right? They wait for the stars to align. That's all we're doing. We're waiting for the stars to align, and then we're just going to follow it. So, are we getting primed and ready for a new drop back to this level? And we just kind of slowly chew down, and we keep kind of doing these little Humpty Dumpties, or are we going to break this level, right, and spin all the way down to 8, which is quite a ways down there, guys. Let's be mindful about this. This is, and again, let's just maybe move this out of the way over here. You can see this green line right here. Okay, so it's possible that we revisit these areas. Okay, it's very possible and very likely, right? This has a lot of energy around this 25. So 10, 9, and 8 and 11 will resonate on this. So we're just going to be mindful, right? We're looking for relationships, and we're just going to guard ourselves. All right. Okay, so moving forward, what are we seeing? And we're talking about a rally. I do have quite a few comments asking me to look for the tops as well, and why I use different squares of nines counterclockwise and clockwise. I sometimes use 2 of those as well, but I do like the fixed square of 9, and it's easier to explain these concepts to you, because if I start to put on counter rotating squares and start to do that stuff, I think it's going to be a little bit too technical and deep, and I just really need you to take this in very slowly and build upon the knowledge that you're gaining, and just be mindful about it, right? And then as you get more comfortable with the technique and the methods that we are in fact researching and sharing and discussing here, then of course we'll start to look at some other techniques that can help us zero in on some other things. But for now, we're just going to keep this simple. We're going to use the fixed square of 9, and we're going to use our 8-spoked wheel. All these red lines that you can see here on this, these are the 8 octaves. If you're a musician, the 8 octaves. So this is the 8 octaves of the year. So, and next year we're going to be putting on a forecasting course, doing exactly what we're talking about here on all this, and it's going to be an 8-hour long full day boot camp, and I'm inviting you to join us. Anybody is welcome. Doesn't matter what level of studies and research you are with Mr. Gann. Doesn't matter if you've just learnt his name. Doesn't matter. You can come here. You're going to get pounded through this course. When you leave, well, you'd probably be talking a lot like me and babbling on about this stuff. So you get a square 9 that's exactly the same as mine. Everything that I have, my square 9 is much different than the squares of 9s that you can get out there. I've purpose built mine, and the reason I've purpose built it is because I am extrapolating and researching phenomena and data that is not presently available to everyone, and I'm gathering this data and sharing it. So if you want a square 9 like mine, come hit me up and come to my forecasting. It's probably going to be really beneficial for not just you, but myself too. We're going to make some great connections, and we're going to grow the Gann community. We're going to tear the lid off of all the mysterious things, and no stone left unturned. Moving forward, we were talking about these structures that we could, similar. We're possibly are going to see these structures revisited, and and then they'll get tired again, and then they'll fall off, and we'll have to make either new lows, or we will have to make a confirmed with the square of 9. Price and time needs to be squares Mr. Gans states. And once we've seen that, and we have a breakout that is not a fake out, then I'll be a Super Bowl. But until then, I'm sorry, guys. It's bad news bears, Humpty Dumpty. That's right. Nothing but moon boy tears. So let's just be mindful about what it is we're talking about. Also, I wanted to note something that I noticed I made a mistake in just revisiting this really quickly, you guys. I was saying that this is not May 23rd, okay? That's September 23rd, and I made a mistake of saying May 23rd, so I'm correcting myself. I want you to go back, check out my tutorials. You can check out the ephemeris. Go take an ephemeris and tear it apart. Mars will not occupy Libra at 17 degrees until 2023, September 23rd, okay? That will be the last 180-degree deduction. And then from there, we're going to move to the bottom half down here, and we're going to continue on with the 270 degrees and the 360 all the way around the circle, all in line with all these things, but on the opposite side. So we're just going to carry it all the way around, and we're going to make a circle, okay? So we're going to finish the whole thing off. And I'm inviting you to, stick around and hang around this channel and tear it to pieces. You know what? That's right. Tear it to pieces, share it with your colleagues. You know what? That's what I want. Okay, so we've updated our planetary bodies. We have our December 19th for the sun. I updated that. I made a mistake calling that May 23rd. It's September 23rd, so we've covered that. And we've talked about the square of 9. We've talked about our levels here, what to expect, and we have some determinations coming in. We have the Fed meeting on December 13th and 14th, as you guys know, and that could, possibly represent, a topping area, or in the previous cycles, it has been that the Fed has been having a bottom around their meetings. But, the last meeting here, we had a bottom, sure enough, and we had the little fake out, right, guys? And when I was calling that this would get broken and that we would have an aggressive move down to around these levels based upon the square of 9 and the relationships being made with these numbers. So that's what we're interested in. We're just going to be mindful, okay? That's all we're doing. We're researching. We're cataloging it, and we're just making sure that everything that we're doing is up front and that you can see. And this isn't really, these are just numbers, and this is a circle. You bet. It looks like a square to you, but it's a circle, and the numbers are all aligning themselves. As I told you, the odd squares and the even squares, they all align. So anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. All right. And with the zodiac and the planets, it's just a circle. Just has the same degrees of every circle. And we're just tracking the bodies as they move around. And we're watching for relationships. That's all we're doing. It's it's not super, super, super difficult, but I mean, it's kind of a new stuff to a lot of people. Now I want you to just take this in slowly and tear it to pieces. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so we've covered, again, our planetary body update. We have covered the square of 9, some levels on that. We've talked about the Fed. We're going to have a meeting here on the 13th and 14th of December, and they're priming us right now. You can see Stormgain and the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. They're all priming you for a new drop, and it's possible we could come down and hit this ring right here at 13,000. Talked about this, okay? You know, it's coupled with this 21, guys. Check it out. All right. Here's your 13,000 is connected to the 21, right? And this ring and this Fibonacci, these two converge and connect right around that date. Is that what's going to happen? Not necessarily, but we're going to be mindful of that. We could have this fake out rally. You know, the fake out breakout. You know, I talk about these, you know, fake out breakout, right? Fake out breakout. That's right. Back to bad news bears. Every time, fake out breakout, moon boy tears, right? They keep telling you this is the last time to buy. You were told that this was the bottom for months and months and months and months and months, and I have told you it's not. It's not the bottom. The square of 9 and the planets are going to tell you what the bottom is. It's already ordained ahead of time. All this is preordained ahead of time. That's right. This is how Danielle and Mr. Gann were able to forecast. Right? They used wisdom, knowledge, and they were cunning in science. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to carry on the legacy of Mr. Gann, and we're going to create many Ganns, all of you. All right, guys. So that should satisfy the update for today. Moving forward, use stop losses. Be very guarded. You know, use the Heiken Aishi candles. You can see that it'll help you in these fake outs, right? They turn red when things get nasty and green when they start to move up. So it's another tool to use, okay? It's another tool. So be mindful of it. All right. So this is our top area now, guys. Right? 17,000. That's our new overhead. This bottom is our new overhead, right? And if we can't get into the underbelly of this, that's going to show extreme weakness. Extreme weakness. So let's just be mindful of this, all right? Anyways, thanks for joining us today for this next update, and peace and love. You know, tear apart my tutorials, share them with your colleagues, and we'll see you again. Thank you for joining us here on Beautiful Mind.